Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you very much for tuning back in. This is Unit 1, Lesson 4, Part 2. In this particular lesson, we're going to be looking at immigration into the United States as a controversial political issue of contemporary and modern times. As you're aware, so far in this unit, we started talking about citizenship and immigration together as a whole to understand the importance of citizenship, rights, and responsibilities. But in this particular part of the unit, we're going to be looking at just one of the many political issues that we're going to be examining this year and giving you both sides of a story or an issue so that you can come to your own justifications and evaluations about how you feel. Before we begin, please let me encourage you to check out the source which this presentation comes from, which is britannicaprocon.org, which is a reliable, nonpartisan, empowering website which examines a variety of political issues and gives you quotes and thoughts and insights from people actually in government. And so it's really actually compelling to get both sides of an issue when it comes to a variety of the issues that we're going to be looking at this year. So please feel free to check out this link later on for your own interpretation of what I'm saying, and then also for other issues too, if you so choose. Please also let me encourage you to open up the Google Doc at this time for today's lesson if it's not already open, and to fill in the chart like this. You'll need to type down the name of the topic and the pros and cons of each particular part of that topic. Please realize the chart is not necessarily broken down into Democrat versus Republican, but it's about pros and cons of a particular issue, and I'll specify what Democrats and Republicans believe about certain pros and cons in mind. Remember, when you're finished, please complete Part 3 and then submit the assignment accordingly. Let's go ahead and get started. The path to citizenship is the first topic here. As you're aware, becoming a U.S. citizen is a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. Some would say a lot of effort and energy as well. But what do both sides believe? When it comes to creating a quicker path to citizenship for illegal immigrants, Democrats would say that we need to create a quicker way for them to become U.S. citizens. Instead of having them living in the shadows, there should be a better, more feasible way that they can actually attain U.S. citizenship. The current way and the current system is just too long and hard. Less vetting on background and checks is really what we should be encouraging so that more people can assume U.S. citizenship quickly and then also be part of the American way as soon as possible. Republicans, on the other hand, would say that we need to either keep the process as it is, as long and arduous as it is, or to make it even more rigorous. Illegals need to start the process over like anybody else coming to the United States. Just because they're already here shouldn't mean that they get a fast pass into becoming a U.S. citizen. The system needs extreme vetting, Republicans would say, and checks to make sure that the people coming here are in fact of good moral character and have a clean background. Let's go to the next topic here, the economy. When it comes to the economy, both sides have differentiating views about illegal immigrants and their role in the United States. Democrats would say that illegals do their jobs that Americans do not want to do, and illegals want to work in industry and in farming, and we should really value their contributions to the economy. Simply doing away with illegal immigrants would actually be detrimental to the economy, Democrats would say. Republicans, on the other hand, believe that illegals should not be allowed to apply or even get jobs in the first place, and many Republicans would advocate for implementing an e-verify system to make sure that people who want the jobs here do so legally. Illegals are also competition for jobs, Republicans believe, and illegals do not pay taxes in full, so therefore shouldn't even be able to get jobs in the first place. In a sense, Republicans believe that illegal immigrants are skirting around the system. Let's talk about the infamous topic, the wall. The border wall between the United States and Mexico. What do both sides believe when it comes to securing our border and building a tangible fence? Democrats would say that the border wall is useless and it really sends the wrong message, sorry for the typo there, to the public and also to Mexico and to other countries alike. We would be wasting money, spending more resources on things that really just aren't related to the issues. Democrats would say we need to do more to spend more money here for the illegals that are actually already here to uplift them and to help them, rather than building a wall that just says stay out. Republicans, on the other hand, believe that the border wall will stop illegal immigration and send a strong message to Mexico and other countries that we are very serious about our immigration policies. If you want to come here legally, there's a right way to do so, and here's a wall which signifies and designates that. Republicans believe that the wall is necessary because our first priority is defending ourselves, and defending ourselves from the influx of illegal immigrants coming into the country. If we defend ourselves first and then fix the problems that we have from within, that really ought to be our focus and goal. Driver's licenses. Let's go ahead and look at this. When it comes to administering driver's licenses, Democrats would say that illegals should be allowed to drive. And this serves as a good other form of ID too that they might need for other forms of paperwork and employment and so on and so forth. If illegal immigrants can get driver's licenses, they can apply for insurance and more, and they would actually be able to do more with their current status as it is, instead of just being products of a system that is reaping the benefits. Republicans, on the other hand, say in regards to driver's licenses that illegals do not need driver's licenses. They do not deserve this form of ID. It's a privilege, not a right. When you think about it, this kind of fits the Republican mantra. If you want to come here and stay here, you need to do so legally. Just because you're already here by default shouldn't mean that you get all the handouts and advantages like a driver's license. On the controversial issue of deportations, the two parties could not be any more different. Democrats say that mass deportations of illegal immigrants in the United States is immoral, and mistakes would definitely be made if mass roundups took place. Separating families and detention centers and holding them there are horrible, and many insights lead us to believe that the conditions inside those detention centers are anything but ideal. Many Democrats would also say that this is something to be said about the character of our nation, that the American dream was not built off of kicking people out, but welcoming people in. Republicans, on the other hand, would say that deportations are really the only way to enforce the law. If we are a nation of law and order, we need to, of course, act on that. This would send a powerful message, too, to other countries and other people thinking about coming here illegally and skirting the system, in that we will find you and deport you. Now, keep in mind here that even though these are two separate issues, there are many politicians who kind of advocate for different parts of these types of talking points in their own ways and means. Let's talk about the terrorist threat that illegal immigrants might pose to the United States, and what do both parties actually believe about them? Democrats say that illegal immigrants are not terrorists, they're human beings like you and me, and we should not ban other countries from coming to the United States, whether they be Muslim majority countries or countries of a certain ethnic makeup, that all countries should be welcomed, and no caps or limits should be placed on any of them at any time. Democrats are also quick to point out that domestic terror caused by U.S. citizens is a bigger issue than domestic terror caused by illegal immigrants. Democrats might be the types of people to say that when you look at gun violence in America and mass shootings that have taken place, most of those people who've actually done that were actually U.S. citizens. So maybe we're focusing on the wrong issue. Republicans, on the other hand, would say that illegal immigrants from terror-loving countries cause terror, and we reserve the right to ban them from coming in, especially if a worldly event happens where we need to secure our border. If you think about the coronavirus pandemic, it's clear that we, of course, banned certain people from certain places from coming into the country for a period of time to take proactive measures to help the United States in its security. Many Republicans suggest that we would keep our culture clean by not allowing terror-loving terrorists to come into the United States in this way to corrupt society. When it comes to crime, it's no surprise that cities and metropolitan areas have a high influx of crime. But both sides believe that the root of crime is quite different, especially when it comes to illegal immigrants. Democrats would say that illegal immigrants do not cause crime, they do not touch, or we should not touch sanctuary cities and punish them if they are aiding and abetting illegal immigrants. So in other words, big cities like San Francisco and New York City should not do any such measures to purposely spot out illegal immigrants. Just because they're living in the shadows doesn't mean they necessarily deserve to be targeted. And illegals help us fight crime. Democrats might be quick to say that illegal immigrants are watchful citizens who help report to the cops what they see and what they know. And in some cases, that happens to be the truth. Republicans would say, on the other hand, that illegal immigrants are more prone for crime. When they come from a background of drugs, violence, abuse, and killings, they're probably more prone to continue that way of lifestyle here while in the United States. Republicans would also say that we should go after, as a federal government, sanctuary cities and punish them for not bringing forth those illegal immigrants to our attention. Many Republicans would say that if we want to get serious about squashing crime in our cities, we have to include all people by that measure. I believe our last topic here is advantages, like welfare and social welfare programs. When it comes to receiving these advantages that the government provides, Democrats would say that illegals are human, and they deserve basic human rights and privileges. Some call for welfare and education and relief, And some would even say that we need to help people who are in this type of situation, especially the children, because to no fault of their own, they're already here, and that we should do our best to assist them as they were our own U.S. citizens in the first place. Republicans would say that illegals do not deserve any special treatment. They broke the law, they came here, they really need to attain citizenship first, and then apply like everybody else. Republicans would also say that there should be no special advantages or treatment over regular U.S. citizens, especially when you look at controversial issues like paying the taxes that feeds into these welfare programs. So there you have it, our first political issue of the year. As you're aware, you might find yourself standing on both sides of the fence when it comes to this particular issue and other issues alike that we talk about this year. However, as a young citizen, it's important to start formulating your thoughts, opinions, and justifications so that you may form educated opinions and go forth into the real world and portray them accordingly. Once again, please fill out that chart that I asked you to do so, and you should be okay to complete the rest of this assignment. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your day.